Intel has been leading the CPU market for multiple decades at this point, but in this video, we're going to talk about why they're starting to lose market share to companies like AMD and Nvidia and what went wrong. Let's begin. So let's start with origins. Intel started on July 18th, 1968, which is about 56 years ago. Intel started as a circuit manufacturer, and they started in Silicon Valley, as did many companies such as Apple and Google. Intel was really successful when it started. They became one of the leaders in the semiconductor industry. They had many innovations, like the first DRAM chip. If you don't know, DRAM is used to store temporary files on your computer that will be deleted later on. They also started making microprocessors at this time, and they made the first programmable microprocessor, which was a big revolution for the industry. They continued doing this until, well, today. And now we have stuff like the Core i7, the Core i9, Core i5, Core i3, the Pentium, and the Xeon. All pretty capable chips for your computer. However, Intel is going into a rapid decline. This is because of companies like AMD and Nvidia, along with problems with nearly all of Intel's chips. Let's start with the first problem Intel's having. AMD is starting to make much more efficient and reliable chips than Intel. AMD is just the better chip when it comes to gaming. In fact, it's getting so bad to the point where I think the only situation where you should be buying an Intel chip at this point is if you're doing heavy computing tasks that require a lot of processing power for the computer. Now, Intel knows that they're struggling against AMD. So they tried to go into the GPU market and they're starting to make some new GPUs. However, they're now competing with Nvidia, which is pretty much the largest GPU manufacturer in the world. They're also still going head-to-head with AMD's offerings with GPUs. And Intel's GPUs really aren't that good for anybody at this point. Now, I do see a future in the GPU market, but it's going to be a long ways away. At this point, if you're building a computer, you should probably be using an AMD CPU and an Nvidia graphics card, or an AMD CPU and an AMD GPU, not anything from Intel. And this applies for the majority of people right now. Now, I want to talk about the second issue Intel's having. Currently, pretty much all of Intel's chips are having severe reliability issues. For instance, I recently bought an Intel Core i9 14900K, which I thought would be really fast CPU for what I like to do, like editing and all of these other tasks. I had that CPU for about a week and then it just wouldn't work. I was getting crash screens in pretty much every game I played. My editing softwares weren't working. I was getting blue screens of death, everything. So now I have returned that CPU and I'm just going to switch to AMD. Now, how can Intel solve all of their problems? Well, one thing that I think everybody would be happy with would be making their chips more reliable. As I stated before, their reliability issues are getting really out of hand. Some people are blaming it on the socket, some people are blaming it on the CPU itself. We really do not know why it's happening at the moment. But it's been going on for months now, and Intel really needs to step up their game on it. Also, Intel should try and catch up with the competition. Now, Intel's CPUs are mainly only used for productivity uses, but if they could make it just a little bit better at gaming and more efficient, just like AMD CPUs, then I think they would be a massive hit. Now, if Intel solves these problems, will I be switching back to them? Potentially. But for the meantime, I'm gonna stick with AMD. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.